Hi everyone, good evening or good day wherever you are. I hope you can see us and see me and see and hear Marc. Marc, say hello.
Yeah, hi.
Please let us know if the audio is fine for you and the video too. There's already one person there's Robert from Toronto tuning in. I hope you're not affected too much by the virus. So we're doing this via Skype today. I'm sitting in Hamburg and Marc, you're sitting in Kiel, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I think everything works out well. So yeah, it's a crazy time right now for musicians and everybody who's like freelancing. I think we don't have any gigs until June, is that right?
Yes, that's the problem.
But you're also teaching harmonica, right?
Yes, I don't see no. Okay, now it's everything is fine. Yes, I'm teaching harmonica. Mainly at home. I have two groups, one for beginners and one for more advanced players, and I have make private lessons.
Okay, yeah.
And sometimes not too much, so 6 to 7 workshops in a year.
So this live stream is supposed to be somewhat instructional. So maybe we can just go like through your musical history and your history like harmonica-wise, and maybe you can even share some of your tips and tricks for the stuff you learned over the years.
Yeah.
So how did you get in touch with music? Was like the harmonica, was that like the first instrument you played, or did you do something else before?
Yeah, so I started out music when I was 5, but with a flute, but not this flute, the other one.
Yeah, like the Blockflöte in Germany.
Yeah, the wooden. And so I played it for some years, and but I was not really satisfied with the flute. And then I started to play piano, and like always in Germany, you start out with classical music, and so I learned it, but mainly by ear. So I was not very good in reading, and then I got interested in other music, so mainly in ragtime. At that, so I think I was
that's interesting. Yeah.
12 or 13 or something like that, and then I started to play ragtime with the Scott Joplin stuff, and loved it. I still love it, and and then I came in touch with boogie woogie. That was my next passion, And so so like in Hamburg, it's the capital in Germany for boogie woogie players. So so the main guys.
That's true. There are also a lot of pianists. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Axel Zwingberger, Vince Weber, who died 3 days ago. Then Gottfried Böttger, that was the name. So
Yeah.
that's huge names. So I came in touch with that kind of music. And so the step from boogie woogie to blues, it's not very, it's quite close. And so then I was, and I played in a band at that time. I was even singer and piano player.
Okay.
And then I heard, then we had a famous thing on TV, the Rockpalast.
Oh, didn't you know you played there?
No, I didn't play there. I would love to play there, but then there was I heard Paul Jones was a blues band, and that was a shock for me. So the sound of the harmonica, and so that's really flashed me. And I think the next day I ran into a music store, bought me a harmonica, and started to play. Yeah, that's
nice. Yeah, it's just like the way it is today. Is that just by accident you stumble upon the instrument? It's like not the usual way of like going to a music school or like parents maybe having harmonicas at home and suggesting you to play. I don't think that happens too often. So there are more people that are tuning in. There's Paul from Canada. That's great. Hey, Paul. Robert Davis. Sounds good. We are all using social distancing in the house playing music. That's the best thing you can do right now. Yeah. There's Jerry. Hello. Great that you're here. Ryan from Missouri. So for those who don't know, Marc is a great blues player. Like a Nova band wizard. We will get to that later. And you are playing in a duo with the pianist Georg Schröter.
Yes.
You already won like several prizes for that, like the International Blues Challenge. Maybe we'll get to that later too.
Yeah.
Which you actually won like as the first European band.
Yeah. A duo.
So that was in 2011, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how does that whole thing work? Is that like a prize you get for a live performance, or does it have to do with a CD release, or
no, it's
what's
a live
happening there?
But it starts out so it was 2009. We got a call from the Baltic Blues Society and Baltic Blues Club, and they said, we making a German blues challenge, and you are announced to play there if you like, and we said, yeah, we would like to. And so at that time there was a competition, 5 duos and 5 bands, and and a big jury, international jury, and we won that thing. And the next day there was a Baltic Blues Challenge. That was a 6 or 7 nations competition, and we won that also. And so we got the ticket to Memphis.
Okay.
And that was 2010. But 2010, we took part in that IBC, International Blues Challenge. But so at the semifinals, it was for us. So we didn't get to the finals. And then we got 2010 the German Blues Award, and that was the ticket again to Memphis.
Oh, okay.
And in Memphis, it's in the Beale Street, and it's unbelievable. I don't know how many clubs there are. I think 30, 40, 50 clubs. I have no idea. It's full of music clubs. And so in that solo duo competition, there were 88 nations. And in the band competition, I think it was at that time 180.
Wow, yeah.
And so you had to play 2 quarterfinals, a semifinal, and of course a final if you make it through the thing. Yeah, and we did well. So we survived the quarterfinals like the last time. Then the semifinal. That's the most hardest part in that whole competition. Because on the semifinals, it's a little bit louder in the audience, and then there's the finals. That's a nice thing. That's in the big opera, so nearly 3,000 people fit in there, and yeah, that's great. That's great to play there, and we were really looking forward to that, and we were happy to be in the finals. And yeah, we didn't play to win at that time, so it was like, hey, it's cool to be in the finals. Let's do a good job and fly home to Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end, we were announced as the winners, and so we are still surprised.
Great. I think there's also like a small little like documentary with like nice pictures or like video clips about the trip to Memphis online on YouTube. You can check that out. There's Wolfgang tuning in from Bavaria and Blow Weed from Italy. Hope you're doing well. So let's get into the real stuff. What was like the first harmonica you got? Was there like a specific model or?
The first one I bought was really Hohner Meisterklasse 580.
Oh, like the old Meisterklasse.
Yes, the old Meisterklasse. And I know when I was in the shop, the owner asked me what harmonica you like, and I said, yeah, what do you have? And then I took the C, and even at that time I didn't know that there are other keys. And so I took the harmonica home and started to play. And yeah, I noticed some things were okay, other things were really complicated, and I had no idea that's a hard work to play chromatic on this instrument. And nobody told me about second position or third position or something like that. And I noticed, okay, I had a C harmonica, and okay, a song in G, it's okay. It's or in C, it's even D, like that. And after a while, a friend told me at a session, hey, when the blues is in G, you always take the C harmonica. And and at that time I thought it's a law. And
it kind of is like for blues players.
yeah, it is. It has the best sound for blues. Still, I think so. And and I was lucky in my neighborhood. So I was 15, and in my neighborhood, only 1 kilometer away, there was a blues session. And all the blues players from Kiel were traveling to that. It's called Lutherbicker, so it still exists and it's still a very nice club. And so I was totally a beginner, and the people the musicians were very nice to me and said, okay, that was not bad, but listen to Paul Butterfield, listen to Sonny Terry, and so on and so on. And so I went home, bought the LPs. At that time, it was a long time. You needed 6 weeks to get it out from the US. And so, yeah, the next time on the sessions, I was better prepared. And so I bought a lot of LPs.
Yeah, that's how you learn, like going to a session and then failing, going home and then coming back, better prepared.
Yeah.
That's what I remember when I went to my first jazz session. I worked on the jazz standard, All the Things You Are, for a long time. And I really learned it by heart and like went through the changes like in my head, like before going to sleep. through every key and stuff like that. And then I went to my first jazz session and I completely got lost. It was a nightmare. But that's how you learn. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like learning the harmonica. So in the end, that was more like an autodidactic thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Till I got, I think 21, 22. So so I thought that's a lot to play in second position, and didn't try it even to play in third on something like that. And I started to play in a band, and so we had minor songs, and of course it's possible in the second position, but it's very hard to intonate. And so then I heard Steve Baker, and he at that time he lived in Hamburg, and I asked him for some lessons, and so he gave me some lessons, and so I got into playing in third position and even in other things. And he showed me the first overblow, and and then but at that time nobody knew about how overblows worked, so I could play, but I forced them totally out, and nobody changed really the harmonicas. So I started out to play chromatic, but it was awful.
Yeah, I think I mean, nowadays I do carry two chromatics with me, but just for some people who want to hear me playing like Stevie Wonder or something.
Yeah.
I don't really practice the chromatic, but okay. So basically we are playing the same instruments by Thomas Hanke, the German customizer. Yes. Is that right? What kind of instruments do you play?
Yeah, so I play from Thomas, of course, from Thomas Hanke. Then I have marine bands from Joe Filisko.
Okay.
And then for years I played Tony Ramos. He is not, I think he is not customizing anymore, but I think I have at least 40 instruments from him and still play them.
Okay.
And now I have some instruments from Mr. Anderson from Sweden as well.
Nice. So with these harmonicas, you're doing crazy stuff. What I remember is you playing Amazing Grace with these bended overblows.
Yeah.
So Paul is asking if you can play something. Maybe that's something you want to play.
Yeah, I can do.
I think there are a lot of people out there who have never heard that.
Yeah, so I can play it on an A harmonica, what I normally do, but I even can play to explain it on a C harmonica.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. So I normally start out to get the intonations with 4 draw, and then I go to a half step band on 4. It's not really Amazing Grace. It's a sort of. So I phrase it totally different. But
yeah.
So that's a half step bend. Then
there's like the fall overblow, bend it up a half step, right?
Half step, yeah. Then the next is on the 5 as well, a half step. And then I move it up to 5 steps, so it's a B, so a H in Germany.
Yeah.
Go to an A, to the G, and then sometimes I move it up, or I make a half step on the 6. And then go back to the 5, to the A, to the G. and then I move it up again 5 steps. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And I'll better play it on the A. It's easier. So I make a little bit bluesy stuff. And then I like now make the overblow really, really dirty.
So is that playing 2 overblows at once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like that.
Nice. So how far are you bending up the 5-hole overblow?
On a C harmonica, it's to the B.
So up to the pitch of the 7-hole draw.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So of course your harmonicas are set up for this.
Yes.
Do you also use these harmonicas to play like regular blues stuff, or do you have like another set of harmonicas for that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So I have normally a setup for playing tongue blocking. Then I have for the normal overblows, and then for overblow bands. But that harmonicas, they are set up very extreme.
Yeah.
So it's high risk to play them. And,
yeah, I can imagine. Like, did you ever have problems? Of course, like we all did, but like playing outside when it's cold.
Yeah. And this harmonicas, it's like Thomas make them special for me to play that kind of things. And when I started out to play that, I was a little bit more extreme like today. Now I use mainly a half step or a whole step, normally not more.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I think I can't even bend them way further than that, my instruments. So mine are probably like set up to in between like your tongue blocking harmonicas and your extreme overblow instruments.
Yeah.
So do you sometimes use the 3-hole overblow to get like the pitch of the 4-hole blow?
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, that's the way I learned them. It's like playing the normal note, like on a C harmonica, on the 6th blow, the G. Then on the 5, the G, a half step. And on the 4, 5 steps.
Oh yeah. That's a nice exercise.
Yeah.
That's how far I can get.
Yeah.
But I can bend the 5-hole overblow higher than an A.
I think that's far enough.
So, I mean, that's a crazy sound. Like, how did you start doing this? Like, was it like your idea, or how did you get inspired to do this?
So when I started out to play it, I was rehearsing, got a little bit dirt, I don't know what, in my harmonica, and I was too lazy to open it. And I said, quite often it's like I blow into it very softly, and then the dirt is away. So and at that time, it was yeah, I was very soft and oops, I said, oh, what's that? That's quite cool. And then I rehearsed a whole day with that little dirt in it, and of course then I put it out.
Yeah.
And then I was not able to do it anymore. And then I thought, okay, what to do? And then yeah, I started out to make the gapping closer and closer and closer because I wanted to get that sound but still get the other notes. And so I found that, and then so I love Jeff Beck. That's a famous guitar player, and then I heard him, and I thought it's a little bit like the guitar, the singing, and
Oh yeah.
and like when you do a little bit vibrato on it, it's a little bit like it. I love that sound.
Yeah, just
And,
like letting that guitar string sing.
yeah. And then I heard from him Over the Rainbow, and I tried to get into that sound, but never got it. But it's influenced me to go into that way.
Wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. I mean, I use these banded overblows too, but like not as intensively.
Yeah, no.
But
So
for some stuff, it's like very, very useful.
yes. So what I think what's it's great. Like normally, if you do trills and you can between 2 and 3 a little bit bend. You can do it with 5-step, half step up, and so you normally cannot do that. And even like you can bend them up, and it can sound a little bit like an electric guitar. Like
Yeah. So yeah, there are like some songs where I tell my students to do this actually, like playing take 5 in 5th position, like instead of having like a weird jump between a 6 overblow and 7 draw.
Yeah.
Which breaks up like the whole flow of the melody. There are new people from Spain, from Alicante. That's interesting. I think like 1.5 years ago, we recorded like 2 music videos in Alicante with our hip hop project, where you can see the harbor of Alicante too. So Rusty Harp, if you want to check that out, our project is called Leave the City, and the song is called Kim Jong Un. Yeah, some other people from Spain. So of course, all that overblow stuff, that's like very advanced. What would be like a suggestion you would give to a beginner harmonica player who just started out to hit like single notes?
To get into overblows, or in general with bending, or
Okay.
Um,
So you would say like learning overblows and bends very early is a good idea.
If you can do it, it's a great idea to start as the instrument as a chromatic instrument.
That's true. Yeah.
So, but normally when I teach, it's mainly playing single notes, and after a while, maybe after a year or something like that, I start with bendings.
Okay.
And I think you must have a very full tone to get even that the bendings. And like the bendings, it's a big problem, and still after playing my whole life, the bendings, it's like the intonation. Yeah.
It's very hard. So would you say overblows are easier to play than bendings in the end, and easier to intonate?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. So Amireza Amadi is asking us to talk about positions. So, I mean, that's really like a harmonica player thing to talk about positions and playing in positions on the harmonica. But what you just played, Amazing Grace, that was playing in G on the C harmonica.
Yeah.
That's what you call second position. And that's what you usually do in blues music and all the blues music with harmonica you listen to. Maybe like 90% of the stuff you hear is second position.
Yeah.
But what's like some of the stuff you do with your students who play single notes? What are the songs you play with them? Are you playing with them like songs in C on the C harmonica, or?
Yeah, mainly. And then I start out to play with them blues in D minor.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's a great step.
And so we don't use the first octave, and so you have nearly 2 full octaves with minor things going on, and that's great. And so if I have a group, then the beginners are playing in third positions, and the people who can intonate and everything, they play in second position.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I do a lot too. Playing over changes like D minor and G7 or something. Because that's funny, because these are like also the 2 chords that you can actually play on the instrument. Like playing all the notes at once.
Mm-hmm.
The G7, and if you draw 4, 5, and 6, you can play the D minor.
Yeah.
And then you really don't have like any note that doesn't work over the chord changes.
That's true.
Just connected. Greetings from, I don't know how to pronounce Athene in English, from Greece to both of you, and tons of wishes for the best on these hard times we all experience. Oh yeah, all the best to you too. Saludos desde Colombia. Great. Greetings back from Germany. So you found that little backing track, right? You wanted to play over, which is more like a New Orleans style blues.
Yeah.
It's in the key of D, right?
A key of D, and I heard it 2 or 3 days ago. Philip Jers was doing a live stream, and he started out with that, and I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I looked at YouTube, found it, that backing track, and yeah, let's give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we can't play at the same time, but I can play something over it after you.
Yeah, but maybe we can play at the same time, or when I started here, you hear it, or...
Oh yeah, but then I'm out of sync.
Okay.
For the people listening and looking at this.
Okay.
More people from Italy and Berlin. Nice. Just write a comment into the chat or a question if you have any ideas, or if you want to ask Marc anything. Okay.
Okay. Oh, wrong harmonica.
So you want to use a G now, right?
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, a lot of bended over bands in there. So you were playing a G harmonica in the key of D, right?
Yeah. So second position.
Nice. Yeah, and you even used like some of the bended over draws. That sounded great. So Umberto is asking how to overblow. Can you tell him?
Yeah. So I can explain how I thought it was when I started out, but nowadays I think it's not the right way. When I started out, I thought to bend like on the top of the instrument, and
Yeah, that's what people told me in the beginning too.
Yeah, and but if you do that, you are flat, and it's so you get the norm. So I like the thing to say the normal tone you get from the overblow. That's the overblow, but the first overblow in intonation, when you got it right intonate, that's for me the first overblow bend. So to get that in tune, it's the easiest way to start is a 6 blow for me.
Yeah.
And then you have to get the new tone. So I'm thinking like that. The new tone you must get in your head, and so I controlled it with a chromatic, and
yeah,
and so I got that tone in my head, and then you have sing the tone in here. So I do it like, and even like when I play normal tones, like I might I do that, and on the overblows it's the same thing. I play the normal tone, and then get that the new get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like singing through the instrument. It's so important to be aware of like a very, very clear imagination of like how the note should sound. And you should find like some way of like listening to it. That could be the chromatic or any other instrument where you can just like maybe on the piano press the key down.
But I think when you start out a little bit to force it out in the beginning, it's okay. It's even with the bendings. Most people start out that they think you have to work really, really hard to get that tones. And okay, that's okay. But after a while, you get more relaxed, and it gets better and better and better, and you get more relaxed, and the tones get better.
Yeah, I actually started to learn the overblows with that harmonica by Suzuki, which had like single channels for every.
The overdrive, yeah.
The overdrive too, yeah. That's what I used in the beginning, and that's of course like a harmonica where you can really like bend the overbands. up
Yeah.
a lot. So yeah,
And
many
then
people really like your playing over that backing track. So I'm afraid to to play over this now.
oh no.
Thank you, Joey, for tuning in. Yeah, see you maybe next week.
The next tip is, I think, to play the overblow. It's like the way I did it. It's a little bit hard to play the blow and then the overblow. It's easier if you play first the draw note and then get the next half step in your head.
Yeah.
That's easier.
Yeah, that's just like a physical thing inside the harmonica, because like if you play the draw note first, the draw reed is vibrating, and
Yeah.
that's the reed that's also vibrating when you play the overblow on hole 6. So it's like already activated and already moving.
Yeah.
So that's the easier transition. Also in like within a song you play.
Yeah.
It's harder to make that transition from the blow note to the overblow on the same hole. So what I know, you also, I remember watching videos of you using very low tuned harmonicas. Do you still use them a lot?
Yeah. I so like this Amazing Grace. I start out with a very low harmonica, and like maybe I said before, it's not really Amazing Grace. I think honestly, I thought I composed it, and
Okay.
I was playing around with a low key harmonica and making a little bit like that Howard Levy stuff was outblocking many holes, but not he's doing like a bagpipe, and so I was doing something like that. And so the idea came from mainly playing some Zydeco stuff, like.
Oh, right.
Like that. And so I was playing around with that and came then later up to that idea. And then more in the melody. And then
Beautiful. Yeah.
and then the melody starts.
Which key harmonica was that?
That was a low A.
Oh, okay. And that one is also customized?
Yeah, that's from Joe Filisco.
Oh, interesting. Because I never played a low-tuned customized harmonica to this point.
Yeah, and that was the first ones where he put some what's the word? Bly.
Okay.
Some metal on
the reed itself, so it's
yeah.
Okay.
So that was way before the Thunderbird, but the Thunderbird was made after his ideas.
Yeah. So people are asking Umberto and Amirisa if it's necessary to customize the harmonica for overblows and overdraws.
Yes.
In some way it is. On most harmonicas you get, or the harmonicas you can buy in a store, you can probably get the overblows on holes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
But they maybe don't sound that amazing.
Yeah.
But they are definitely playable.
Yeah. So I got some harmonicas out of the box, and you can play overblows. The problem is normally if you want to hold the tone and don't. Sometimes you get that squeaky noises, and if it's really well customized.
Yeah, then it's like steady, and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So that's the main thing.
That's true. Yeah, there are like some old recordings where, there's like one 5/4 overblow in there, and then I have that squeaky noise in there because I hold it for a long time, and I always thought like, yeah, and also, Herbie is writing that Bly heißt Lied. So Bly is lead in English.
Let's have
So Joe Filisco put lead on the harmonica reed itself, so it's vibrating slower. That's what Seidel did with their first low-tuned harmonicas, right?
Okay. I didn't know.
I think so. That was last year, I think. I had to record some harmonica, more like accompanying a singer within a movie, and that had to be done like in 2 days or something. And I was here in Hamburg, and I did have like the low-tuned harmonica I needed for that. I had that one in Cologne. So the only low-tuned harmonica I could get was like a Seidel blues session something.
Yeah.
And so I recorded it with that. Couldn't really customize it, but it was okay for the accompanying.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wolfgang says that sounded also a bit like a didgeridoo. That's true with the low harmonicas. I only have a low B flat. That's the lowest I have. How about the bends on the low harmonicas? Do you also have a low B flat?
Yeah. I have. I even have a low FF. Low
F.
Low F.
Oh yeah.
So the nice thing about the low key harmonicas is that you even have to be more relaxed to get the tones. And,
that's what I wanted to say earlier. When you played that thing that sounded like a didgeridoo, that's like a meditation thing.
Yeah.
For me at least, because I remember doing that on stage early on, and I don't know, maybe my mouth is not big enough, but I can play like very big splits, but on stage, like with a very big split, like between like hole 1 and 7 or something, if I hold that for a long time, sometimes like something here started to shake or something.
Yeah.
But the more I got into that meditation mode, like it never happens again on stage now.
Yeah. I
But
remember one time I tried to get an overblow on a low G harmonica, and I succeeded. I got it, but I needed a half an hour to get.
Yeah.
And it was a whole time like half an hour, and then I tried it and it worked, but that was half an hour, and like maybe I don't know if I get it, but it's now a low F. I must have on the 2-hole draw. I don't think I get it, but I give it a try. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
I remember that was at the music fair in Hamburg in Frankfurt, in 2011 when Hohner presented the Thunderbird, and they had all these models and different keys, and I was there with, I think Steve was also there, and some other players, and like that was like the big challenge, like who could play the lowest band.
Yeah, and it's a big.
But with the overblow, you already answered Thomas' question. He says, great session. Marc and Konstantin on the overblow on 1 on a C harp. How do you get the overblow there fast and accentuated, coming from 1-hole blow? Oh, yeah, that's like not a good combination, playing C and then E flat on the C harmonica.
You mean the first? Oder? Okay.
Starting on the blow, yeah.
On the blow, okay. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's about to be very relaxed. And normally I would do the same way to first draw, and then try that, and really, really gentle and soft, and it's more like I do it like that.
There's the feeling you want to get, like the feeling of like starting on the draw note and then playing the overblow. You want to transport that over to like playing the blow note first.
Yeah.
And it's a lot about anticipation, I think.
Yeah.
You got to be ready to play that note. It's not like, okay, I can just do like one little physical thing, one little physical movement everybody can do, like on the chromatic, just pressing the button and playing the E flat.
But what I think what's really, really horrible is to do it from the band. So one.
Oh yeah.
And there you have to make that little movement here, and if you do it not right, it's like that. It's easy. That, but it's heavy.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's just something to be conscious about, like the different combinations of notes you can play and the different ways or the different techniques you got to use to get the notes on the instrument. Because like the easiest stuff is like playing a blow note and drawing on the same hole, or like the next step for me would be staying on the same breathing direction but just switching the hole, and then maybe 2 adjacent notes but different breathing direction. They're like different steps, right? And then you can include bigger jumps, and as soon as there's like a bend in there or an overblow, it gets harder and harder. Like switching from, I don't know, 3/1.5 step bend to the 6/0 overblow. That's like hard stuff.
The 3. to the sixth overblow.
So from A flat to B flat.
From A. Okay, yeah.
Or like weird stuff. I mean, nobody does that, but it's great for practicing. Just playing the octave jumps on the harmonica. It's so easy on other instruments.
Yeah, so especially if you like that.
Yeah. Right. But also just like getting a feel for the distance between these, but because like many blues players probably only move no more than like 2 holes in between their phrases, maybe.
Yeah, but there, what many people use there is tongue switching. Then.
Yeah, that's an option too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to discover with that. Like if you just practice like the major scale with that. That stuff.
Yeah, cool.
I think like people on chromatic are like very, very good at it.
Yeah.
But I think people playing the diatonic harmonica, they should practice that a little more, because there's a lot to discover with this that nobody has heard up until now.
Yeah, on the chromatic, it's like when you. Like that. Yeah, that's. I don't use it too much here on the diatonic. A little bit, only for that.
Yeah, right. There's another question by Umberto. What do you think about special tunings like power bender wind tuning? Never heard about that. Gazelle method or the power chromatic?
I never played them, but I think that the P.T. Gazelle stuff, it's cool. It sounds great when he plays it, but I think it does not make the playing easier, because then you have to intonate all the. I think it's great, and with the power bender and I think people who are used to it, it's a great thing. It's nothing for me. It's I come from that generation with Howard Levy, and I think the Richter tuning, that's my instrument, and I only changed it one time. I used that country tuning when the 5-draw upper half step.
Oh yeah.
And that's really a great tuning. And still, when I'm playing major things or playing in fifth position, I'm still thinking about using it again, because it's
then
great.
It's useful. Yeah.
And you have that nice 4-draw, 5-draw, and everything is now in major, and that's really cool. But on the other side, it's you learn so much more. I think so, if you stay to one tuning, and so everything you learn on that one tuning, it's you get better and better as a musician. And what I think, it's when you it's maybe the better sounding way to have a harmonica which is specially tuned for that song. But I decided to go this way. I would not say one is better or no. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think also it's like very useful just if you want to get the chords you don't have on the regular tuning. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are 2 last questions. Somebody asked about like famous chromatic blues players. I'm not sure. Like William Clark did play a lot of chromatic.
Yeah,
He's amazing.
yeah. And Rob Piazza,
Oh yeah,
he is great. And George Harmonica Smith.
and also Dennis Grunling. There was a time where I really just got into that stuff and bought a chromatic just because of that. Just playing blues in D minor.
Yeah, or in E flat minor.
Yeah, right. And just going like. Just all that stuff he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ended very quickly. I just did that for like several months.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if you play that through an amp. There's a last question by Wolfgang. He wants to have explained, or he wants to hear something about rhythm, how to make it with the tongue or with the breath. I would actually encourage everyone to do with the tongue. I mean, it's supported by with the breath, but you can articulate way stronger and way more defined with your tongue, right?
Yeah, always hear that kind of stuff.
Okay, yo. So you're talking about the throat.
Yeah. So I think it's a mixture, like tick is more the tongue and is more here.
Yeah.
And so you can, the thing is that you can get really, really fast with that articulation stuff. And normally when you think, you breathe in and maybe 2 times or 3 times you breathe out, and then breathe in maybe 2 or 3 times. It's if you do it single, it's very hard. But if you do that is
you got to use your tongue or your throat.
Yeah.
Your sound is kind of distracted right now. We got to end this properly. So let me recall you again very quickly. Okay, we are back. I can't see you.
But hopefully now.
Now you're joining again.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's still like new stuff for me, like these situations. But it worked out well. So now the sound is good again. So maybe there's something you want to play for the end of this.
Didn't thought about.
But if you want to listen more to everybody who's watching, I added all the links to Marc's website or Marc's social media accounts in the description below, because you're also selling your CDs with Georg Schröter on your website, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you should definitely go there, check the website out, especially since both of us, we're not playing any gigs up until June, probably. We'll see.
Hopefully we play in June again.
Yeah.
But I don't. Nice. Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments or in the chat if you actually have to deal with that in some kind of way, or if you're actually also performing with harmonica and you can't play any gigs. So yeah. Do you have an idea what we can play? Or maybe we can play some licks back and forth.
Yeah.
We can try some call and response. We don't have to play the same thing the other one played. Hey Marco, great that you're tuning in from France. Thank you, Herbie. And Robert liked the chromatic playing. I will never do this again.
You should.
can just trade 12 bars. Nice, yeah. So that's our little blues closing off this live stream for today. So as I said, you can check out the links in the description box below. The first link in the description box below is also the Facebook group for these Hohner live streams, where we can keep ourselves updated on upcoming topics. Next week I'm doing the same thing. With Jason Ritchie. So he will join from New Orleans, and same time next week. So that's Thursday, March 26th at 9 p.m. Central European Time, here on the Hohner YouTube channel. And also another thing I have to announce today is that I'm going to start to do daily harmonica streams, instructional harmonica streams for beginners, on my YouTube channel. So that will happen every day at 6 p.m. Central European Time. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central European Time, that's the first date. And there are 2 other harmonica players who do the same. I would do the whole thing in German, so it's only for German people. There's Greg Slap from France doing it in French, and I forgot his name. I'm sorry, Angel Vera from Spain. Have you ever heard about him? I have to check him out. He will do the whole thing in Spanish. But yeah, the whole thing will take place under the hashtag United in Sound. So make sure to check that out tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central European Time on my YouTube channel. And now you can check out Marc and his music using the links below. Check out the CDs. Is your music on Spotify or streaming platforms?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So, if there's nothing else you want to say, we can close this off now.
Yeah, thanks.
So, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Hope to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. and next week too, with Jason Ritchie. Hope you stay safe and healthy. Have a good evening or a good day wherever you are. Thank you, Marc. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.